All right, team. So, welcome to the My Bootcamp coaching system. This is week 3. So, we've talked about leadership and communication. Now, we're going to be diving right into standards. So, because energy creates order and standards create safety. Every member walking onto the turf feels your energy before they ever touch a barbell or a kettlebell. Every second of your session, from the warm up to the high fives at the end, communicates one thing. And this is how we do things right here. Okay, so let's kick off like we always do, guys, with your wins. So, one personal win this week, okay, from the past week, and one member win, and one moment this week where you felt the session flowed. Give you a moment. Cool. Perfect. Right. Okay. Let's get into it, guys. So the year standards slipped and what it cost us. So last year we were flying, guys, towards growth momentum. It felt pretty much unstoppable. Everything we touched turned to gold. Everyone was wondering what we were doing. It was like we had some sort of magic thing we done straight away. But here's what I learned the hard way, guys. When you grow too fast, you can lose sight of what you got there. And that's precisely what happened. We went from, say, 78 to 100 members to just over 160 members. On paper, wow, it was successful, but behind the scenes, it was absolute chaos. We didn't have the right systems or enough communication amongst the team. Okay, and sessions started slipping. Warm ups got rushed. Uh, People were becoming late because we dropped our standards, they dropped their standards. So also the cues weren't sharp. More or less, his energy was inconsistent. And little by little, we lowered the standards without even realizing it. And that's on me. When you deliver back to back sessions, guys, it's easy to think it's fine. They'll get a sweat, doesn't matter. But people don't just come for getting a bit of a sweat on, they come for certainty, we'll call it. And when they feel the coach isn't leading, they feel unsafe, not just physically, but also emotionally as well. That's when retention drops because people don't stay for the fitness, they stay for feeling a part of something, being seen, safe, and also led by you. It took me months to rebuild the standard back up. Uh, and I had to slow everything down. I've had to slow everything down, rebuild the systems, realign uh, you guys, and we'll be continue doing this. And remember this: you don't fix chaos with energy, you fix it with structure. And this is precisely what we're doing at the moment, and we'll continue to deliver high performing coaching. Now we've got the systems in play, the timing, and we're getting that flow. And the difference is night and day. You can see just from the retention currently at the moment, we're maxing out. We've got waiting lists, which also brings our next problem down the line. But we'll work on this down the road. So, lesson one, guys, structure creates safety. When your session has flow, members trust you. They stop thinking, what's next? And start thinking, I'm in good hands, I'm in safe hands. And that's leadership, guys. Every My Bootcamp session should feel like basically a choreographed dance. That sounds so corny, but it's so true. The warm up transitions smoothly into the main lifts. You're moving, cueing, watching, and leading all at once, simultaneously. All right. So structure equals confidence, confidence equals safety, and safety equals retention. So, guys, I'm going to ask you now, where in your sessions do you lose flow or control? And we can work on this. What could you tighten up in your sessions with like timing, transition, or even coaching cues? Let us know. The more you can give me, the more we can help you take that transition. So, lesson two, guys, energy creates order. Energy isn't noise, it's a direction. Your tone, your volume, your pace, it sets the rhythm of the turf. High energy at the wrong time is chaos. Controlled energy creates focus. When you walk into that session, you are put it this way, the thermostat, not the thermometer. You don't react to the turf, you set it. Okay, you're in control. Members follow energy before they instruct. Okay, so if you want them confident, you must be clear, calm, and certain, even when you're tired. So, guys, a question I'm going to ask is, how do you personally turn it on before a session? Corny enough, I have a little jump around, put some Led Zeppelin on, get myself in the right mindset. I take it's probably like someone gone on stage to perform. I don't know, like Robbie Williams or Bon Jovi or something like this. They've got their own warm ups. Anyone in the drama scene, they do their warm ups before they take the stage. It sounds corny, but it makes a big difference. And also, what does really ask is, what do you have a pre-session routine, and what does it look like that helps you bring focus? So, lesson three, guys, standards start with the small things, and it's always the small things that make the big things seem a lot easier. It's kind of like when we take a client, they might want to lose 3 stone, but we don't. That's a big win. But what are the small things we implement and set in play to reach that big win? Same thing for you guys. So the small things that build this brand and have done for years since 2010 is being 5 minutes early, creating greeting every member by their first name. That's why we have everyone at the start. Uh, at the chain, I call it the gate, but it's a chain. It builds our energy rather than anyone. I remember going back in my classes in gyms, people just walked in, stood in different corners. It looks a bit clicky. If you bring them all together, the energy is set from the start. They greet each other, they make you feel, they have a little bit of a chat, they have that moment of sharing. Probably something they don't share much with people unless it's a colleague. They feel comfortable. Everyone's come, they're very like minded. They come, they talk, they make friends. And that's something we're building here. So, also the check in forms, guys, at the start, making sure that you check in form with them, getting them early on, with deadlifts, bent over rows. They're here to be guided, not left alone. And we're not there to count reps, guys. All right. Never let, also, guys, never letting phones get distracted over the way. So if they ever put in their PBs and things, do it between their stations. If they've got time, or they can do it later on. And also, guys, one thing is a big no with me is people's phones going off a session. People are there to get away for 45 minutes of their world. They're escaping. So asking them just to turn their phones off. If it's an emergency, ask them to leave the turf. All right. We cannot have phone calls on the turf. Uh, Guys, if we let the small things slide, the big things collapse later on. Standards aren't rules, they are reminders of who we are. So I'm going to ask you between now and our coaching calls, what's one standard you've slipped up lately? And just be honest, okay? We're not perfect. How can you reset this before next week? And we can have that discussion on the call. So, lesson four, guys, flow builds freedom. When you master the flow, the session runs itself. You become a leader. You're not thinking about the next block. You're not leading it intuitively or winging it. You can correct form, your technique, Inject loads of energy, motivation to individuals, give that extra attention, and still keep that group in sync. That's freedom through structure. And that's what we're putting in play. Think of it as a DJ, guys. The transitions are seamless. Okay, there's no breaks. The crowd never break rhythm. That's our job. You're not just running a workout, you're conducting an experience. And that's what my bootcamp creates, an experience. We're not a session, we're not a one off class, we're an experience. So, what part of your sessions do members consistently love? Own that. And what part do you need to improve? This is where we can help each other develop you into a high class coach. So, reflection time, guys. Take a minute to think about this week. Where do you lose the flow in your sessions? What small standard do you need to raise right now? And describe in one word the energy you bring to every session this week. Now, post your leadership action inside our group WhatsApp chat by tonight. Okay, that's sealed. So I'll go first, guys, because it's quite well known. My sessions, I don't really start my sessions probably until 5 past. Okay, so this week I'm going to be committing to starting every session 5 minutes earlier on the dot with a clear focus and strong energy. Because I probably overgreet people and I like to chat probably too much, as you all know. Uh, but because standards are contagious, guys, when you raise yours, our team rises too. Energy creates order, standards create safety. That's how we lead the room. So remember, guys, your playlist, your equipment, they don't come for. They remember how you made them feel. If they leave the session feeling seen, safe, and stronger than they were last time, well done. You won. So keep leading, guys. Keep refining and never drop our standards, no matter what. Again, guys, you don't work for my boot camp. You are my boot camp. See you on the next call.